Yes, that was me coughing before we come in. All right. Yes, we're here, and we're streaming this because, I don't know, it's easier than just recording it and uploading it and all the rest of that stuff, but we are going to upload things. Well, actually, I'm getting to that point where I'm thinking, oh, X really worth it, But anyway, here we go. Yeah. Let's introduce that man. I can hear you.
It's not on there. It's not on there again. And I've not had the notification, so there'll be about 3 people. Oh, there's one. It's better than nothing.
There we go. Okay, here's the man. Here's the man himself. Come on. There he is. Oh, that was quick. It just shifted quick. It just went, well... What a past couple of days it has been. You think about what's going on.
Where do we start?
Well, the big fights that are going on at the moment, but let's not think about those fights just yet. Let's think about Ricky. Well, no, let's go with the first, the word of the day. Are you ready? What time is it
today?
Is it...
It's way before the water, is it? Well, what's that now? I'll just play it. Who gives a shit?
Well, this is it's not for under 18s. Okay?
Close your ears, children. In fact, you shouldn't be watching this, children. You should be on your Xbox or whatever it is you do best.
And that includes most of Parliament. Here we go.
Unless you're reading all your books you got from school.
Day. Thunder cunt. A person whose sheer level of country is so massive it creates its own weather system. Thunder cunt.
Oh, those words, Ace. Bring that one back. Yeah, thunder cunt. Nah, I can't say that.
I just love all these things. Here you
Word
go.
of the day. Thunder cunt. A person whose sheer level of country is so massive it creates its own weather system. Thunder cunt.
That word said in a posh voice, it's just
creates its own weather system. And I got something through from someone that we know.
What have you got?
Nicknames for lazy co-workers.
Oh, yeah.
You ready?
Go on.
Cordless.
I'm blind.
That's someone who only works for 2 hours.
I think that's me.
E.T. Someone who always wants to go home.
Tell you what, at least E.T. went home, didn't he? Like
Kit Kat.
problem.
Kit Kat.
Oh, we know a Kit Kat.
Always taking a break.
We know one of them, don't we, Steve?
Muffler.
Don't want to know.
Always exhausted.
Okay.
Seaweed just floats around all day.
I'm just going to make myself a bit higher.
I'm telling you now. Sensor light only works if someone walks past. And wheelbarrow only works when pushed. So we should have these. These nicknames for different people in politics. We should come up with that. The nicknames for the people in politics. That would be good.
I know, but none of them ever work. You can push them to do all that. We've been pushing them for less immigration for about 50 years, haven't we? And we still can't get that. But they all say they're going to do it.
God.
I feel like blind for some reason. But
It seems as though that we're going all patriotic. Here's a little bit of British history for everyone. I think you'll enjoy this.
Very few people know about the rare object hiding in this 2,000-year-old church crypt. One that talks to a dark period from London's past. Just off Fleet Street, you'll find St Bride's Church. There has been a church on this location for at least 1,000 years, but what lies beneath is even older. When the Romans established Londinium in AD 47, they dug a substantial ditch just outside the walls of the Roman city, on the site of what is now this church. If you head into its 2,000-year-old crypt, you will find a very rare object that talks to a darker time in London's past.
Ooh.
Walking past these gravestones, you will come across this iron coffin. In the 18th and 19th centuries, people feared being dug up by gangs of body snatchers. This gave rise to the use of iron coffins, where the dead could be sealed shut inside for protection. Walking further into the crypt, you'll also come across a piece of Roman pavement from AD 180 and an incredible range of Roman artefacts. This place is free to enter, so if you're ever in the area, it's well worth a visit.
There you go. Our little bit of culture and history.
It's very good, that.
I like those little educational films. Reminds me of what we used to get in school. The Longman nature films. About the animals on the savannah.
Now, what you get? The people who built Britain were from Africa and, and everyone's gay or trans. Was it? Was it really like that? Was it?
That'll be the new history. Yes. Do you remember when there were men and women?
And they were men and just women.
That's right.
It wasn't that long ago, was it? Until the lunacy started.
Indeed. Well,
I mean, they come up with it in years ago, but somehow it's just become popular, hasn't it?
Well, here's a few interesting things for you. Okay, and here's Fred the bodyguard on replacement. This is interesting. I quite liked what he had to say.
The mainstream media are just running cover for this giant immigration scandal, which is where they're going to replace the populations of Western Europe and America with absolutely everybody. I think the whole point really is to smash Europe to bits, and especially smash England and Anglo culture to bits. In order to do that, they've got to flood the country with people from all over the place. They've got to make it so that when everyone's from everywhere, then no one's from anywhere. And so when you deracinate people from their culture and their religion to make you believe a self-defeating myth about yourself, you lose before you've even tried to fight.
Well, what about that? That's a big word there, deracinate.
Easy for you to say.
Well, deracinate. So he's not just a bodyguard. He's an intelligent guy. And basically, he was telling the truth. So we're all being gaslit by these people. And it's totally wrong. And here's another guy that keeps on trying to tell everybody about what's going on. And we've had him on the show before. Nick Timothy, MP, on Islamists and the judiciary and the law.
When was he on? Was I ill?
In Parliament.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The police fabricated intelligence to get Israelis banned from Villa Park, as demanded by Islamists. It's not an isolated case. Forces cut deals with dodgy mosques and refuse to arrest preachers who incite violence. The CPS uses the Public Order Act as an Islamic blasphemy law. In prison, governors do deals with Islamists to maintain order, and we all know about the rape gangs. So will the Prime Minister launch a review of the corruption of our criminal justice system by Islamists and the politics of communalism?
Prime Minister. I disagreed, as he knows, with the decision of the West Midlands Police, and the Home Secretary will be making a statement in relation to it today. Mr. Speaker, the Home Secretary used to have power to remove Chief Constables. That power was stripped by the 2011 Police Reform Act. The honourable member knows who was making decisions in the Home Office at the time. It was him, working for Theresa May, that stripped that power away.
Word of the day.
Why does this one come up exactly after he
Person whose
speaks?
sheer level of country is so massive it creates its own weather system.
You've muted yourself.
Sorry, there was a beeping going on. Yeah, it must have just even the
I don't know what it
programming
is.
using those Starmers of Thunder. Yeah, that one.
Every time you mention Starmer, that word keeps on coming up. It must be a ghost in the machine. Anyway, here's another one. Okay, now I found this. Thank you very much for the material that you sent in, which we're going to be discussing this evening.
What have you found?
About the Millie brothers, the Millibands.
Millipedes.
Yeah. So, I don't know what you make of this. Tell me what you think. Here we go. And if they come after me or us or what have you, who cares? I don't.
The Miliband dynasty is sitting right at the center of a massive green energy scandal. You have Ed Miliband running the government's net zero strategy, basically deciding who gets billions in taxpayer cash. Then you have his brother David, a director at Giant Ventures, investing in the exact same kind of companies Ed is regulating. It looks like the perfect setup where one brother writes the checks and the other bets on who gets them. People are asking if this is why Ed refused to leave his cabinet seat. If insider info is flowing between them, this isn't just bad optics. It is a total betrayal of public trust.
Now, what do you think about that?
Is this allegedly or is this...
This is allegedly, yeah. I mean, you can't say that anything is going on, but I found this and I thought it was interesting because it is an allegation, okay? But,
But it's probably true.
Allegedly. Yeah. So you've got to say these things. I mean, it just struck me as, stranger things have happened in the Labour Party. I mean, we've only got to look at Lord Mandelson being investigated now. Yes?
Mm.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning, isn't it?
Well, and I have to say that before we go on to our two big stories tonight, okay, Jordan Peterson is extremely worried, and thank you very much for sending this in, Mark. Okay, he is definitely worried, and have a listen to what he's saying. I mean, he's talking to a prat. I mean, nobody likes Piers Morgan, but I don't understand who's getting the views. Okay.
Look, if he didn't have some of the guests on he was getting on, he wouldn't have any views, would he? Let's face it. No one's watching it for Piers Morgan, are they? I'm not sure this is a new one. I think I've seen this before, but I just thought it was quite relevant to show that our political elite, the main parties, are the only ones in this country and some silly lefties who just can't see what's going on. Or they can see, but they just won't face up to it.
Yeah.
Everyone else can see it. Other countries, I mean, Jordan Peterson, he's not a thick man, is he? Let's face it. And if he can work it out, then, it's happening, isn't it?
Happening. Here we go.
I don't know if you guys in the UK understand how sad it is for us in Canada and in the United States to watch what you're doing to yourself. I mean, the UK is a great country. When I go there, I go to Oxford, I go to Cambridge, to these remarkable places in London, see your unbelievable deep history, understand how much the world owes the UK in terms of, say, the establishment of common law and decent government everywhere, including places like India. We owe the UK such an immense debt. And to watch you guys spiral yourselves into the ground for this idiot, weak political correctness that's gone so far that you can allow your working class women to be raped en masse, sadistically, and say nothing about it, and gaslight people who are telling the truth. It's so sickening. It's so demoralizing. It's almost unspeakable. We all pray, hope and pray here in Canada and the US that you get your act together and grow some spine again and put your damn country back together and stand up to these bloody psychopathic bullies and the woke green mob, because it would be a dreadful shame to lose you.
There you go. He just says it straight. Who's going to disagree with him?
He could have gone harder. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just said it then. Don't know if you get it. Never mind watching it, mate. We've got to live it, Jordan. Jesus, you're lucky. You could just watch it.
Well, he's got to live with Carney, so he's got something similar going on.
And him saying it'd be a damn shame without us. No, that's the end. Without us, I'm afraid.
That's right. That's right.
If there's no example to follow, then they're gonna have to follow another example. It's gonna be something like America, and it's not going particularly well over there either.
No,
I mean, a lot better than we are, but we've got a fighting chance with Trump and all that. But what have we got? Well,
he didn't mention Starmer. He didn't mention him once.
Word of the day.
Oh
Thunder
my God!
You did, and then that comes up.
The sheer level of country is so massive it creates its own weather system.
I can't believe it.
Thunder
I can't.
cunt.
Do you know? It just keeps on happening every time you mention.
Starmer.
Yeah, it just keeps on coming up. But anyway, okay.
Even the technology knows.
Okay. Here's some things about questions about Islamophobia and free speech. And this came up, and I'm like, what the hell?
I'm always concerned that when people are in the heart of government, that government should be doing their due diligence to check what kind of connections and associations they have. And I tell you, the fact of the matter is, I question this government's due diligence on a range of issues, particularly around Islamist issues. And one of the issues here is that the definition has such an impact on our personal freedoms and the rights of us in terms of free speech, that this issue is something we should be seriously concerned about, and also the process by which each one of these hand-picked individuals, because they've been hand-picked by Labour, are basically creating a definition which is going to impact our rights going forward. And I have a real issue around that.
Absolutely. Led me perfectly on to the next point I was going to make here, right, which is, is it... One of the criticisms about this new definition of Islamophobia is that actually it could be used to stifle free speech and freedom of discussion.
It definitely will.
Fair criticism, potentially mockery even, dare I say it, which we're all open to, right? I mean, people can mock me. People do mock me regularly, no doubt. And I defend their right to do that, right?
Okay, so basically, it is going to affect free speech, isn't it, Mark?
It is, because the waters are muddied, right? These words, Islamist, radical, political Islam, Islamist, Islamism, right, extreme, right? They're all words to pretend that Islam's doctrines have been somehow taken out of context.
Mm-hmm.
Because most Muslims are peaceful. Yeah, no doubt they are, but it's really not that simple. You've got so many different types of Muslims. It's not just there's good and bad. There's good and bad. Here's that argument again, John. There's black and white. There's no gray in the middle.
Yeah.
No, you've basically got people who call themselves Muslims who just don't follow any of it, do they? So therefore, according to their doctrines and their scripture, they're not Muslims. Then you've got some who may have taken the Shahada, but they won't go to pilgrimage in Mecca. They won't give zakat. They won't go and pray. They won't fast. So are they Muslims? Well, not according to their scripture. They're not, no. And then you've got some who take it seriously, but pick and choose. So they'll pick the good bits and they'll leave the bad bits. And then you've got the jihadis who use the bad bits, as Muhammad and his followers, the original Muslims, did. And then you've got people who support the jihadis, but they won't do the jihad. So it's far more complicated than that. And I'm afraid if you let Islam into a country, then yes, you're going to get a majority of peaceful Muslims, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you're going to get the others. And they're standing up against each other and calling them out. So unfortunately, it's part and parcel of it.
Right, okay.
Isn't it? So this is a blasphemy law. So you're in effect now not going to be able to criticise the bad things about Islam because they're going to separate it, Islamism and all this stuff. But then it's not, though. It's all one thing.
Yeah.
So are you saying we can't say stuff about, I don't know, polygamy or the homophobia or the hatred of the Jews or the jihad or constant killing? Or, if we'd like to show a screenshot, how do we separate it? Because this book is the Hadith. which is second only, apparently, according to this book, from the Quran. And there you go. There's a chapter there. Yep. Wedlock. Right? I'll read it off the screen. Giving one's young children in marriage is permissible. And this is all about the waiting period between marrying after divorce. And it's kind of done to just make sure that there's no discrepancy over who the father of a child is. But when they ask, what about people who don't have periods? Someone asked Muhammad about young people who don't have periods, but why would they need a waiting month? So in a way, the Quran's like making it legitimate to marry and sleep with children.
Yeah.
And if you think it's just some radical thing, well, no. There's the book there. It's from Saudi Arabia, and they're all studied at the universities and Islamic ones in Medina, which is one of the main cities for Islam, where it first they all got together. So you're telling me these guys have got it wrong in Saudi Arabia? Yeah, everyone tells us the Saudis, they don't like this stuff in their country. Oh, that's great, because they're importing it over here. Darul Islam, I can buy that online anywhere in this country, mate.
Yeah. So
you got to watch these Saudis. They're playing 2 games. Don't trust them, sorry.
No,
they're all good. Well, having their country safe and sound, but it's their propaganda, this crap that was made up years ago. That's causing these problems. So we're not going to be able to criticise giving one's young children in marriage is permissible. We can't criticise that in future, or we're Islamophobic, yeah.
Well, anything that they're doing...
Never going to stop.
Anything that they're doing, they're abusing other laws in order to bring this in through the back door. So, for example, that guy that burned the Quran outside the Egyptian embassy, okay, that's being challenged by the CPS, because he got dismissed, and it's a public disorder offence that he was done for.
So they want to protect criticism of Sharia law. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Sharia law anyway. Otherwise, that'd be calling it law. But the Sharia comes from the Quran. Oh, Quran. Look, when it's talking about giving one's young children in marriage, it quotes there, chapter 65, verse 4.
Yeah.
About the waiting period. And then just to back it up underneath, it just says that Muhammad obviously married a 6-year-old and then consummated it when she was 9. So, I mean, if we can't criticise that, and that's part of the Sharia, we've got problems. We are going to get overrun, mate, because anyone who stands up to this is gone. And I wonder who's doing all this. There's people in the CPS, and there's people... John, it's a mess.
People of that faith.
Yeah, well, that's why we need a party who's strong enough to, sadly, make sure that they're not involved in politics.
Well, do you want to quickly go on to Alex Phillips?
Yeah, before you do, they can't have it both ways. They say political Islam's not Islam, yet they're letting it into politics. So what are you doing? They're all discombobulated, like that word.
Yes.
Aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
The logic, again, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, we can move on to another subject, which...
Alex, before we move on to Farage and Rupert Lowe, reform and restore...
Well, we'll just give them some context. It's all kicking off, isn't it? Since Restore announced they were going to become a political party, apparently Farage says he's not interested, doesn't want to talk about them yet. GB News, Talk TV, all the main people in Reform seem to be attacking these people that they don't want to talk about.
Yep.
To the point where they're getting people on the show and asking them to explain the difference between Reform and Restore. And when people are explaining, and they're doing that thing again, John, so should we... I've put a little bit together. I can't show the whole 25-minute interview, but I've tried to edit it and put it together just to show how Alex Phillips is now
dealing with it.
She's got cognitive dissonance as well.
Okay.
And it's a shame to see, John, because I really liked her, and we'll play it and we'll comment about it along the way, mate, because this is staggering, this.
Here we go, then.
Such an important issue for me because I've been living in London for 10 years. I've also lived in multiple other countries around the world. Never before have I felt as unsafe as I do now. When I walk down the street, I'm increasingly being leered at. I'm increasingly being followed like I'm going around the souks of Morocco. And it's not visibly to me anyway, people who were born and bred here. It isn't. And it's very difficult because we're not allowed to talk about it because, oh my gosh, that breaks taboo. Oh, you're a racist if you say this. I'm sorry. A lot of women going about their daily business feel that their safety is being directly threatened by people who are coming from different cultures.
Right, just stop it there for a minute. So she rants about this every day, about people from other cultures and the effect that mass immigration is having on the country. Now, a party comes along who wants to reverse this and end things she's complaining about on a daily basis. And they're trying to say that reform aren't quite going to cut it on that front. And this is the reaction you get. And she's quite mild, because as we're going to see, some people have gone full on, literally Hitler. Alex Phillips is insinuating it, but she's doing, well, play it and we'll see, because it's just...
the policies, what is it the party's going to do that Reform UK are not? Rather than just saying establishment, what are the things?
I think you've made my point for me there, Alex, because what I'm driving at here is the fact that Reform UK will gladly say things that are the safest possible anti-establishment talking points,
such
like
as
men can't become women, for example. They're more than happy to say that sort of thing.
Right.
But when it comes to what it means to be British,
she's like getting ready to pounce on him. You could just tell.
It gets worse.
Right.
She gets really erratic, mate, and well, we'll see. Come on.
They are very, very afraid to actually tackle this topic.
So let's go with this.
Recently as 4 days ago, Alex.
So let's go with that. What is the difference?
Nigel Farage was on Nick Robinson's show saying that to be English is about how you feel. Just today, Matt Goodwin tweeted at me that British identity is defined by sentimental attachment to this country, whereas our position is...
So again.
So they're using the same... So they'll stand up to the trans logic that anyone can be anything, it doesn't matter anymore, reality is just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing you're using the same trans logic to say, well, anyone can be English. Yeah. Sorry, what? Go on, carry on.
He's trying
to explain, and
not anybody can be English. No.
Well, no, obviously not. No, otherwise there is no English and there's no Japanese, there's no Chinese. But anyway, carry on.
Correct.
Britain is not an idea. Britain is not a set of values. Britain is not just having a passport. Britain is a people. Britain is a nation.
Okay, so Britain is a people and a nation. I get that, but that is a sort of that itself is a platitude. When you say Britain is a people, we're talking about ethnicity there.
Wait a minute. Is she making out that he's some sort of an ethno-nat?
Oh yeah, it gets worse. Look, she now mentions ethnicity, but she throws race in, and it's just, here we go again. No one's mentioned race because it's illogical nonsense.
Right, okay.
And race and ethnicity.
Well, it's not a platitude because it fundamentally informs our positions on everything.
No, but can you break it down? Because I don't understand.
Oh,
if
you
Britain's
do
a people
understand.
And a nation,
Jesus.
Well, that to me sounds like saying Britain is being sentimentally attached to the country. Britain is living here. It's being brought up here. It's being, what do you mean that's different to Reform UK? I need to understand this. Make it clear. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Well, stop acting like you're 5 then, lady.
So, yeah, I'll just say, right, I lived in Holland for a number of years, yeah. Let's say I stayed there, and I'm still there now. My partner was English also, and we had a child. Would the child be Dutch?
The child would be Dutch.
Would the child be Dutch?
It would be a Dutch citizen.
I only ever registered the child as a Dutch citizen, otherwise, but the child, if it had 2 English parents, is not Dutch, is it?
No,
otherwise,
I understand what you're saying.
Then there's not. Then reality's gone. We can be whatever we want to be, and I'm the king.
Well, I understand that, but normally you would think that you would actually take your nationality from the country where you are born and your years are nurtured. But
what Charlie's trying to explain is if we're going to set specific rules for certain people and save certain people in the country, you've got to define them. You've got to define who the people are who belong to this land. I don't think anyone's saying, well, okay, there's people like Steve Laws and stuff who are saying everyone who's brown or black or whatever nonsense race theory they're using have to go, but that's not what the majority of people are saying. Charlie will explain it.
Okay. I'll let him go on.
Well, Reform's position from their very beginning has been no different to Blair's position, to Cameron's position, which is that Britishness is defined by adherence to British values. This is a term that I have been hearing for my entire life. It was something that I was taught when I was in primary and secondary school, that's what it means to be British. And if you look at the law, British values are defined as democracy, tolerance, the rule of law, and mutual respect and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. Now, that, in my view, is nothing at all to do with what it means to be British, because the majority of British people throughout our 1,000-year history have not believed in these values. These are a creation of the Blairite state over the last.
So what is it to be? So explain to me what is it that you're saying makes someone British that is different to what they're saying?
Well, it's a far deeper thing than that, Alex. It's about a connection to this land. It's about an ancestry here.
Okay, but connection to land, isn't that what Matt Goodwin said to you, though?
Please let me finish here. More than anything, it is Christian faith. It is ancestry and it is Christian faith. Reform are not interested in going into these thorny areas because they are too scared, frankly. I think they are cowards on this issue.
Or is it that they're scary?
Here we go. I mean, what do you mean by that? It's scary.
I find these areas, personally, some of them start tilting into areas that I find a bit scary.
Can we stop again?
Well, look.
So she keeps insinuating, just say what you mean. In other words, she wants you to just go, I am literally Hitler.
Yeah.
Well, she won't say what she means.
Yeah, I get it.
She wants to call them that. She's saying scary. But before, she was saying she'd been groped and all this stuff, right, by people who aren't from the country. Okay. They weren't
She
from this
can't
country.
have it both ways.
No, let's say, John, they've been here for 10 years and got a passport. And she's saying, no, they're British now, so you can't do anything, get rid of them. But you're moaning the groping you. No, we can take that passport and say, you're not benefiting this country. You've been here 10 years.
Get out.
You've not worked. You've claimed benefits. You grope women. You've committed crime. Bye-bye. See you later.
That's right.
Here. You are not benefiting us. But Reform are going to make that difficult because they can't define what British is or English or anything. Carry on.
Yeah.
We're talking about the very existence of our nation, Alex. Of course, it's scary. But my answer to this, to what you're actually asking here, which is what does it mean to be British and how does our definition differ to that of Reform? As I've said already, again, Reform believe that to be British means to believe in British values. Matt Goodwin reiterated this just today, and Zia Youssef and Layla Cunningham and Nigel Farage and Richard Tice have all said this on multiple occasions. Richard Tice says that he doesn't care that the indigenous British people will be a minority in this country in 50 years because he'll be dead by then. Farage has said that demographics are of no concern to him. These are people who do not believe that Britain is a people, whereas Restore Britain says, quite forthrightly and without shame, that Britain is a people and that there is a qualitative difference in the Britishness of an individual, of somebody who's come here 5 minutes.
You got the spinning pizza wheel of doom there, haven't you?
Yeah,
on a forehead. Look at it. Can't compute. No, stop acting stupid. Carry on.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I've had enough of them because I want to get on to the. Is there something there?
There is an important bit where he tries to explain this, and
all right, okay, I'll carry on. Here we go.
To go and got themselves a British passport, and somebody whose family has lived here for 1,000 years.
My stepsister's mixed race. Is that okay?
What do you mean? Again, I think what I've just said is quite clear.
I don't think it is clear. This is what I'm really struggling with. I'm not finding this clear enough.
Alex, I think viewers at home will understand what it is that I'm getting at when I say that there is a difference between somebody who has come here in the last 5 years and got themselves a British passport, got themselves a indefinitely to remain or a British passport, and somebody whose family has been here for 1,000 years. Because what we're talking about there is the polity that we are seeking to represent and act in favour of when we engage in the political process. Because if you don't know who it is that you're seeking to represent and defend the interests of, then you can't engage in political activity. So please let me finish, Alex. Come on. So Reform do not have a clear idea of who the British people are. Their only definition that they have stuck with since they launched, as I've already said, Tice, Farage, all of them have said this, is the same as what Blair defined the British people as what Cameron defined them as, what Gove defined them as, which is British values. Whereas what Restore Britain is saying is there is more to being British than that.
Okay.
I get that.
He proves their point when she tries to throw a policy at him, which is nativist for Britain.
Okay. Is that coming now? Yeah?
I think so, soon.
We are seeking to serve the interests of, and not those who just happen to have come here in the last few years and got a passport and believe in democracy and tolerance and all the rest of it. It is the British people. And everybody who's listening to this right now knows exactly what
I'm listening and I don't.
If we could just play the next bit, it'd be great because it really hammers. I know it's taken a while, but
What we would say is that we're in favour of reversing mass immigration, because the British people have never given democratic consent to the policy of mass immigration and multiculturalism. Correct. And so our view is that just stopping mass immigration, net zero immigration, which is what Reform's policy is not nearly good enough, because we have a net outflow of people from this country of about 500,000 a year. So net zero immigration still means a gross inflow of 500,000 people from all corners of the world. And therefore the demographic change would continue to happen. And that is ultimately the problem here, because the indigenous British population is set to become a minority in this country in the next 50 years. And this is unacceptable. So what we would say is that any foreign national living on benefits, living in social housing, who can't speak English, who commits crimes, who is a net burden on the taxpayer, has to leave.
I'll stop that one. So that was our podcast we did, and I did some,
I remember,
some calculations myself with AI, and we come to the not far off the same as the, what was that professor from wherever he was from anyway? He come up with 66.
Yeah.
Well, I've got slightly more advanced figures for that. Well, saying that, a lot of it was from the census, so this could change. But there you go. Even if you stopped immigration, like Reform wanted to do in 29, the white British, I'm going to call them the ethnic, I don't like the white thing, but this is the way it works. So the English, the Welsh, the Irish, the Scots will be a minority in 21, 24. If immigration continues at the levels that it is now under Labour, it'll be 2075. And if it continues at double that, which was similar to what it was before Labour and Conservatives, it'll be 2058, John.
Wow.
So what he's trying to point out is if you don't actually take this problem seriously, there isn't going to be a country to fix.
Because it'll just turn into a shithole.
Yeah, we don't need to play the rest. I'll sum it up. Basically, she still can't get her head round what the difference is between Restore and Reform, apart from basically she's insinuating you're racist and we're not. So she says, they talk about lifting the, is it the two-child benefit cap?
That's right, two-child benefit cap.
She says, Reform have announced that too. And he says, what do you mean? She says, for British people. And then he says, yeah, but I'd ask Farage, what does British mean?
Yeah.
And the cogs are going. And he's just proven that an argument's inconsistent. And they look like they're all falling apart over this, John. And they're getting young Bob on, and they're getting Charlie Downs on, and they're getting all these people on.
They're trying to catch them out, and then it's not working.
They're using the same ideology as the trans, and they're using the same smears as the left, and they're doing the same tactic of pretending to be stupid, mate.
Yeah. Well, this is what sums up the no-nonsense approach from Rupert Lowe. Listen to this.
It's what we need.
I want to speak directly to you. For too long, young white men in this country have been treated as if your concerns don't matter, your struggles don't count, and your identity is something to apologize for. That your love of your country is somehow racist and wrong. You've been told to stay quiet, to step aside, to accept being blamed for things you never did and problems that you didn't create. Let me be clear. There is nothing wrong with being white. There is nothing wrong with being a man.
Yep.
There is nothing wrong with being straight. You are not the problem. The system is the problem. The cancer of DEI, along with the Blairite legacy, must be eradicated and erased from our society. Britain needs strong, grounded, responsible men. Men and women who work hard, protect their communities, build their families, and stand firm in their values. And despite what some might tell you, there's nothing shameful about wanting to be that person. We should be unapologetic in our promotion of those ideals. I say to you today, keep going. It will get better.
Well, do you know what? Every single word.
Yeah, there's one criticism or advice I'd give Rupert if I ever get. I'd advise you stop using the words of the ideologues and drop the white, because what you're doing is you're entering into their forum, and they're going to use the black-white racism, blah, blah, blah thing. Just say English, Scottish, Welsh, etc. Everyone knows that they are what you call white.
It was proven, and we proved it, that the white lads were the most underprivileged and undereducated in the country.
When you say white, you're including the Polish, the Hungarians. They're doing fine because they haven't succumbed to this crap. I think you use the terminology they're struggling with at the minute. They're struggling with English. They cannot handle it. They cannot handle what being actually British is and it being English is. They can't handle it. You've got them on the ropes. You've got to stop using the left-wing ideologue words of black and white because you're playing into the red, and then they call you racist. You've got to get off their terminology and just use correct words that actually make sense.
Well,
because what's black and what's white, again, it's like there's loads of different theories.
I know. I mean, because
what if someone's half black and half white? Where do they fit? You're arguing with them on their territory. You've got to stop. Nail the word.
All right.
It's the British, which are the English, the Welsh, the Irish, the Scots. Are they not?
Okay. And the Northern Irish. Don't forget Northern Ireland.
That's who I meant when I said Irish.
Yeah.
No, because the Irish from the Republic aren't British. They're a different ethnicity, John. You'll get no Anglo-Saxon in them, do you know what I mean?
You're going to annoy the loyalists now.
What do you mean, annoy the loyalists? I've included Northern Ireland. It's Southern Ireland that isn't in Britain.
All right, okay.
When I say the Irish, I mean the Northern Irish.
Okay, thank you.
I don't mean Southern. Maybe I should be more specific with my words, like I've said to do. So in future, I'll follow my own doctrine. The Northern
Get it right
Irish,
there. There ain't going to be no Ulster fry for you tomorrow. I'm telling you.
Do you know what I mean, though? As long as you're using their bat and ball, they'll just take it off you when they can and hit you with it.
Oh, they'll try, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same with they've been doing it to Farage, it's the Tommy Robinson stick, and he let them beat him with it for ages. Now he just says, he can do whatever he wants, it's up to him. And now they're stopping to beat him with it because they realise it's not working. Do the same, stop using their ideological nonsense. They're ill-defined terms that they'll define when they use them on you, but when you try and explain them, they're not interested, are they?
Well, funny you should talk about Tommy.
But I loved all that. Anyway,
okay, well, funny you should talk about Tommy. This is what he's got to say about reform, restore, and advance. He's got a few things to say, and then we'll go on to Katie.
As I've been waiting for the smash burger of all smash burgers. If you know, you know. Liam Tufts, you know. I thought I'd give my opinion on a few things.
Always eating, isn't he?
Here's my opinion to reform voters who have seen reform as the only viable option. The election's 3 years away. Now, Rupert Lowe's launched his new party, so we have Restore Britain, we have Advance, led by Ben Habib. I'll give my opinion on all of this. But if Reform win the next election and Zia Youssef is made Home Secretary, what we then have, and let's say Reform win the London mayoral elections, what we then have is a mayor of London that's Muslim, a Home Secretary that's Muslim. Now, why is this a problem? Because if you ask any Muslim, which I'm yet to see any journalist ask either of these two people this question, what comes first to them? Is it democracy, is it Britain, or is it Islam? And any honest Muslim who follows the doctrines of Islam will tell you straight. It's Islam first, Islam second, Islam third. That's a problem. And they certainly put Muslims and their treatment of Muslims before that of non-Muslims. That's just part of their faith. It's part of the ideology that they follow. Now, Zia Youssef made sure that Rupert Lowe, for words, was arrested, armed police raided his house. This all went on. This is a man who's going to be Home Secretary, which means he's going to be in charge of the police. I want a police force that respect freedom of speech, not kick off doors with machine guns over someone exercising their free speech, made up false allegations. This was Zia Youssef done. Now, at that time when they wanted to oust Rupert Lowe, they said it was because he wanted to mass deport entire communities. Check if he ever said that. Check if he's ever said that. So they lied. They also said that he had been part of a bullying campaign when they knew the allegations of bullying weren't against Rupert Lowe. But they made it look to you, the public, like it was because they wanted to oust him. Why did they want to oust him? Ask Rupert Lowe. He tells you.
Okay.
Farage has told us, hasn't he?
Farage has told us. Now let's have a little bit from Katie and see what she's got to say about it. But I mean, fair points being made there by Tommy. Tell you.
It was.
Quick one for those shouting, Restore will split the vote. That is incorrect. Because Restore is a long-term proposition, 27, 28, 29. And by then, many things will happen, including mergers of the biggest parties on the right. But for now, instead of people having to vote Reform with their nose held, which in my case is quite a big job, they can vote for something that they actually believe in. You know, ultimately, democracy and politics was about voting for something that you thought would make not your life better, but your children or your grandchildren's lives better.
That's true.
And that's where Rupert Lowe comes in. So I so applaud Rupert Lowe for having the personal resilience after what he's been put through by Lee and Zia and the rest to stand up and create this party. I so applaud Ben Habib for parking his ego and handing over almost the mechanics of the political party that he's built up in order that they can create something that can move at speed and deliver as a political party when the time comes. And I'm so thrilled that this will be a party not of recycled, failed politicians that got us into this mess, but of successful business leaders, of farmers, of ordinary people who want to work hard and do the best for this country. And so I say to you, do not worry about splitting the vote, because in truth, Nigel never wanted to be Prime Minister anyway.
You know, when she said that, did you watch any of Robert Jenrick's speech? Is he going to be?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, and people are saying, "Oh, he was alive," you know, and
alive.
It was great, you know.
Do you know all I got from that is Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
Here we go again. I've heard you for how many years chat the same old bollocks just with a different colour rosette. I'm sorry, but I switched it right off. There could have been some really good policies, but because it was spouted by a failed fake Conservative, I'm not interested, mate. No. I can't listen to them anymore, John. I can't. The Conservatives
because they were responsible.
Why are they all coming back?
They were responsible for the mess that we're in today, because they gave all the legislation. They gave every tool in the book that allowed Starmer to do what he's done. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my God. Oh, I've said it.
Word of the day. Thunder cunt.
Hey, here's another funny one, John.
The level of country is so massive, it creates...
I don't know what it is. Every time I mention that guy's name, you know, it just like, you know...
It is a funny one. So there's no conspiracy to, you know, attack Restore or nothing. Yet there was a poll out which said 14% of the public recognise Rupert Lowe. Now, apparently, they've all got amnesia and it's down to 8.
It's just bollocks.
TV News, kiss my ass, you lying frauds. I don't care who did your poll. It's fake.
Absolutely.
How can people just forget within a few months who someone was, John?
Nah. Yeah, they're gaining something like about, I think they're up to about 70,000 plus now. Members, because they were gaining, I think they gained another 10,000 today. So, you know, here's what Farage...
Before you do, it's probably more than the Conservative. But again, you've just got to watch out, because it will surge to begin with, and it might tail off eventually.
Yeah.
And we say, oh, did I say we? Then they have to kick in a little bit, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ramp it up.
Well, here's what Farage said about Rupert Lowe. You ready?
But you see... You know, when he stood up and said
quiet bit out
that we've got to consider the mass deportation of entire communities, including those born in the United Kingdom, that just moves way beyond a point of reasonableness, of decency, of morality. And that was the moment at which, you know, I realised we just had to get rid of him and get rid of him as quickly as we could. And I think in terms of the way we dealt with that, we were probably more brutal than the other parties, but you know what? That's the way it's going to be. Thank you.
Oh,
but
that's the way it's going to be then.
That's the way it's going to be.
You upset, you disagree with Farage, and he's going to be that brutal. He's going to lie and try and get you arrested.
That's right.
Possibly.
Well, this is exactly. Yeah, this is exactly, and this is what Rupert had to say about Nigel. Okay, and this is very, very interesting. Very interesting.
And Nigel isn't that interested in policy. I think Nigel, in my view, is interested in Nigel. I'm interested in changing the way in which we're governed for the better. For my children, I have 4 children. I want to see them with more opportunity. Otherwise, rather like the cab driver this afternoon, I will be saying, go east, go to real economies. Which again, it would be very sad, because this, when I was brought up, was the best place in the world to live by a mile. So then not much happened, and I gave an interview to Andrew Pierce in the Mail, And at that point, Reform obviously made the decision, despite the fact I was playing a big part in driving Reform's support. And I'd spoken, as you may have seen my speech at the conference last year in Birmingham. For some reason, Zia Youssef, Nigel, Lee Anderson, that they made up a pack of lies about me. You haven't heard the end of it yet, because it's in with the lawyers at the moment, and it will turn very nasty without a shadow of a doubt. Because what they did was just unethical, unchristian, and unfair. But
hey, I know about that. I know about that because there are people out there that we know right now who are acting in that way towards us. Unethical, unchristian. And you know who you are.
And how's that one going for you, eh?
There you go. Well, the fight back is already on, and it is going to get nasty.
They wanted it to suit their script, so they basically politically assassinated me. I didn't see it coming. I thought, I was an integral part of what we were doing, but for some reason they decided that maybe I was threatening Nigel too much with my profile, or I honestly don't know why, Andrew. I mean, without being big-headed, I think I'm a better man than Nigel in terms of my experience of life, and I'm a bit older than him. I've got many more business interests than him. I mean, he worked on the London Metal Exchange. I worked in commodities. I've been in the city for 20 years. I've been involved in lots of different businesses. I still have lots of different businesses if you look at my CV. So, no, I honestly don't know. But what they did was just morally wrong. And I basically became an independent. I've set up Restore Britain. I'm absolutely clear that we need as a country to unite common sense thought. It's not about being right or left. It's about common sense. It's about bringing together those patriots who want their country back.
For more clips. There you go.
Shame we had to pop up. The whole thing just comes under the immigration argument, because if the people who built this country don't continue to be the majority of people building the country going forward, as they have been for 1,000 years, it's not going to be the same country, and it's not going to work how you think. You could bring the entire Africa over here and make them believe they're English. But the reason this country was so successful is because of the people who built the country.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm sorry, and now people are realising it. And as soon as you say we've got to remain that way, look, most of us are saying we're not going to deport everyone. Don't be daft. There's a lot of people who benefit this country more than some people who they say are like us.
Absolutely.
They were communists. I'd rather deport. I'd happily deport loads of lefties, mate, tomorrow. Like, bang, buy me an island. Buy me an island. I've already found one, haven't I? And I've already calculated how much it'll cost to stick them on there. And guess what? It comes to way less than we're spending on all these absolute immigrants, mate. So you see you later. You can't do that. Well, guess what? We did. Do you know what I mean? The place would be better without them.
Well,
I'm
we're going to
half joking, but half serious, if you know what I mean. But that's what it all boils down to. Who's the bravest now to save this country, and who's going to
do it?
And then just call all those people names like they have done.
Okay, well, here's the last couple of snips that we're going to do before we end, and we've got something really nice for the ending, which is going to whet your appetite for that word of the day.
We haven't really bashed Labour today, have we? They've had a little break from us.
No, they haven't. It's just that all this stuff that's going on at the moment is just like sort of the posturing and the rumbling of the elephants on the right. But here, here's what Layla had to say about Restore policies. Layla Cunningham.
They're talking about if you're not white and Christian in this country, you're not British.
Never said that.
Right? They're going back to some kind of like neo-Nazi Aryan race. If you're not white, I've heard their spokesperson on Talk TV and on TV saying if you are not white and Christian, then you're not deemed to be British. And that flies in the face of wanting integration and assimilation, because no matter how much you integrate or assimilate, according to them, you will never be British.
Well, look, they're not here to defend themselves right now, but the bottom line is
well, they were there. I know, you're right.
Right, I know we didn't show the whole of that Charlie Downs and Alex Phillips interview. But
I've got Charlie's response right here.
Yeah, good, because the only person who mentioned race in the Layla Cunningham interview there and the Charlie Downs one was Alex Phillips and Layla Cunningham.
Yep.
Everyone else is talking about ethnicity, which is more objective than some subjective thing they can use as a race stick to beat you with, you white people. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones who are saying it, mate. If you listen to what Charlie said, he said it's about ancestry and other things, obviously. Religion, they're ignoring the fact that you say Christianity, but it's Protestantism. That's the main crux throughout the English Constitution. The king can't be anything but that.
Oh no, he's the ruler of all faiths in this country now.
Yeah, because he's had a poo all over the Constitution, hasn't he? I was going to say something even worse. All right, he shit on the Constitution.
Yeah.
He's either done it on purpose because he doesn't care and he just thinks he can do what he wants, or he doesn't really understand how it works, or is he doing that thing where he pretends to be stupid? I just think he's a Muslim now, and that's what he likes.
Well, here's Charlie Downs responding to Layla's slurs as he
It's not going
feels.
well, is it, for these little...
So listen to what he had to say.
Reform UK's Mayor of London candidate Layla Cunningham has just alleged that Restore Britain is going back to some kind of neo-Nazi Aryan race politics. This is not only untrue, it is dangerous. It is this sort of rhetoric that led to the murder of Charlie Kirk. We've spoken to our legal team about next steps and would encourage Layla Cunningham to publicly retract and apologise for her comments immediately. Restore Britain is a patriotic political party that believes in strong borders, defending our Christian heritage, deporting all illegal migrants, and ensuring that legal immigration benefits one group and one group only, the British people. If you agree with us, Reform UK thinks that you are a neo-Nazi. If you needed any more proof that they are part of the establishment, this is it.
Right. Well, there you go. And what have you been saying about reform all throughout? You think they're establishment.
I've even said that some people who've joined them, just be very careful. I know it's going to be a good tool to progress and to get rid of the two-party system, but the more it goes along, the more it looks like they are going to become that.
Well,
it's sad because there's a lot of good people on the ground in reform, you know, who want to do the right thing.
Yeah, and they have their
they're not
moments.
allowed to say anything, are they? Because Farage will, you know, what he'll do, he'll come down hard and more than any other party, and so be it. He's just explained. There's no holds barred for him if you cross him.
The thing is, they've got to get rid of him. They've got to get rid of Farage. I know he's good, and I've seen him, and he does some really, really brilliant things, especially with the press. I mean, did you see him with his, today, and the way he dealt with the Financial Times? I mean, you know, it was perfect. It was a great way. But it's no different to Rupert when he just turns around, you know, with that woman. And she was saying, well, these people that go to the doctor, you know, they feel more comfortable speaking in their own language. And he just said, I don't care. If they live in England, speak English. Simple as that.
As I say, I've lived in a foreign country. Luckily, they like speaking our language because our language is popular, but some of them didn't. So there were some difficult conversations with people where I thought to myself, well, I'm going to have to learn some of the language, or I'm sitting on a bus or a train. I'm not having a clue what's going on around me, what's on the radio, what's on the telly. Like, a lot of the music on the telly is English.
Get yourself a pair of translating glasses.
I didn't need glasses then, mate. I was a young whippersnapper. The thing is, I was young and learned some, but if I was living there now, I'd be speaking it fluently and I'd be speaking their language. And do you know what I mean? Because I had friends over there who lived there for 20, 30 years, and they were fluent. So I'm pretty sure fluent Nederlands, as they'd say, but I probably would have been even better. And if I was still there now, that's the language I'd speak.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to walk around someone else's country speaking my own language. And then I'll tell you what, I'll go and get loads of English people to come over, and I'll get them all to move into this street. And I'll say, I tell you what, Dutch people, I'm going to have all English people in one street, and we're all going to speak English, and you're going to suck it up. And by the way, I'm going to pretend they're all unemployed, so we're all going to need benefits, and all the kids are coming too. All the kids are coming. That's fact. Jesus. Oh, and hang on, we need cars, we need tickets for the cinema, can we see football for free? Oh, please, please. And then we're going to go out in the street and protest and say, oh, Holland's crap, bring it down. You're all racist. Do you reckon the Dutch are going, yeah, go ahead, mate.
just like this stupid effing government and every one of those Labour MPs are trying to get us to do. They're trying to force us and gaslight us into allowing this country to be overtaken by everybody else. And we've got to pay for it? The utility bills are fucking massive. They get their bills. The people on benefits get their bills paid. What about us?
Yeah, we just pay for it all, mate. We pay
for it all.
We pay for our own demise.
Oh,
and when you call it out, you get shut up, you racist.
That's right.
I mean, suicidal empathy. It's this ideology is the most dangerous thing going. We've got to help everyone, even if everything burns to the ground, and don't say anything, otherwise you're literally Hitler. Oh, all right.
Starmer's got to go. I mean, it's nice that we're all talking about the right now, and that everybody's getting interested in what the right are doing, because if they're posturing, that means that Starmer.
What's he up to in the background? Oh, here we go.
Thundercunt. A person whose sheer level of country is so massive it creates its own weather system.
I mean, they'll be loving all this. Oh, the right are all falling out. Yeah, but what happens when someone has a big bust up in an argument? Afterwards, they kiss and make up, don't they? And the sex is better, isn't it? So we'll see.
Well, all right. Wonderful speaking to you, sir. We've been going on for about an hour, which is longer than what we normally do. Okay. We look forward to, another chat very, very soon. And thank you to all our listeners.
Viewers and listeners who aren't able to tune in because, well, they will be on other platforms, but
they are on other platforms. We're going back. We're going back to the other platforms now.
So we might have to post this, might we? Or I don't know.
No, we'll get it on. Anyway, here's Crew Kern Gazette. Starmer, your turns, and brilliant as always, guys. Crew Kern Gazette, you're smashing it as always. Here we go.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Good job.
U-turns are a burning thing.
I wish he'd stop
and
doing that.
A fiery ring.
Fiery ring.
Bound by wild ambition. I fell into a ring of you.
Go on, kick him. Kick that man.
I fell into a burning ring of U-turns. I went down, 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 and the poles went dire. And it turns, turns, turns. The ring of U-turns. The ring of U-turns. I planned to axe those maypoles. Meet for 30 councils, what a treat. Farage showed me an open court.
Look who's in the background there. George Michael and Prince. Sorry, King Charles.
Prince Charles.
Prince.